This is the future.
Before we start this video, I would like to address a couple of questions from some of you guys. The first one goes like this: Squad leader, why the hell is you sharing unconventional builds and combos that aren't even popular? They are too much work and I would rather nuke a room with my Warframe using this weapon. Well, you see boys and gals, I cover everything Warframe in this channel. I may talk about things that are new and popular this day, then something creative on another day, or even something that is out of the box, in which case you often refer to as non-meta builds. I don't care about meta or non-meta things in Warframe and just share with you things that I think are fun. I have been doing this for years now, and for those who are new here, you should take a look at some of my old videos. Just like this Chroma video for example. I share a clip of my experimentation sometimes before showing the whole video to somehow show you how the combo works in real missions. Also, I may include pun moments in the clip that makes the title a bit hilarious. Don't get too serious, lads. This is just a game and having fun is one factor. You won't get burnt out playing Warframe. Ease up a bit and enjoy a different side of Warframe. Doing the same thing over and over again in this game isn't unhealthy, and I advise you to experiment on stuff to have some fun, and maybe you will find something worth your time. If Warframe doesn't give you that enjoyment, then go play another game. That's the best advice I can give to you guys, and just get back when you find something worth your time in Warframe. Okay, now let's end this rant and begin with this updated Chroma build. For those who are new to the game, then I want to tell you a bit of a history lesson. This wasn't Chroma's true form, and the damage buff, and as well as the survivability, is nothing compared to the old big bad dragon boy. With an Exodia Contagion Saw, you can easily deal damage cap numbers, which is 2 billion plus in the past. No special setup needed, and all you need to do is get the Fury buff, and throw that Exodia Contagion projectile. However, Chroma with this setup was a glass cannon in the past. I know it's kind of funny and unbelievable, but the self-damage of Exodia Contagion in the past hurts a lot, especially when you can deal billions of damage. It's just a matter of time before you kill yourself while using this setup. It was fun to use it though, especially in Eidolon hunting. But during Chroma's prime access, Digital Extremes dropped the bomb and nerfed the Fury buff to the ground. It's like saying that, hey, don't be sad. Here's a good-looking prime version of Chroma, plus some awesome attachments and prime weapons so you could get over the huge dragon nerf. Many didn't take the nerf lightly, but honestly, the double dipping of damage calculation for the Fury buff is totally unintended and needs to be fixed. It was a bug for years that needs to be fixed as soon as possible. And when I say as soon as possible, wait for years before you do it. Life must go on, and many of those players who are holding their pitchfork waiting at the front office of Digital Extremes gave up their grievances about the Chroma nerf. Why would they even bother to protest? Chroma is perfectly balanced right now. 2 of his abilities are great, while the other 2 are trash. Perfect balance, right? But seriously, Chroma is not a bad frame, as he still got his Vex armor and elemental ward ability, which we will utilize in this combo. I know you got a couple of why and how questions, so let's begin with the Exodia Contagion Saw first. I have previously shared how to build this Saw, along with the Saw composition I'm using, but for those who didn't watch the video, then let me give a piece of brief information on how you can maximize the damage potential of Exodia Contagion. I will just say the important ones and not go into the nitty-gritty details. First of all, the Arcane's projectile is affected by attack speed mods, speed buff from Warframe abilities, and also attack speed bonus from melee arcanes. Secondly, the amount of critical chance and status chance of the Exodia Saw does scale with the stats of the melee weapon you are using. Also, you should know that Acolyte mods does work with Exodia Contagion, and having Blood Rush and Weeping Wounds in your build will increase your critical chance and status chance by a lot respectively when you are at max combo counter. For this build, I ended up modding for pure critical and damage, since we won't be needing any status chance. Exodia Contagion might be good in proccing status chance with a Weeping Wounds build, but when you are going with pure damage build setup for nuking, I would advise going for critical chance and damage to get the best damage output from this arcane. And yes, condition overload doesn't work with Exodia Contagion. Also, I added my Doctrum Riven just to give it a more critical chance. It's not really necessary, and you can replace this mod slot with an elemental damage mod. Probably Molten Impact to get corrosive and heat in your Exodia Contagion Saw. I wouldn't recommend adding Spoiled Strike, since this is a combo-oriented build. We want our melee combo counter to be at max every time, since we will be needing it not only to increase the damage, but also get the juicy red critical numbers from our Exodia Contagion projectiles. That's why in my previous video, you have seen me whacking enemies before hitting them with the Exodia Contagion saw. My intention was not to kill them but to build up the combo counter for my Exodia Contagion saw. It may sound like a lot of work but it's not, and getting a 12 times combo counter is really smooth with this chroma setup. It's because I'm using the Nariman Focus passive power spike to maintain the combo counter, and with a few strike of my melee saw, I can build up the combo counter to max in a matter of seconds. It becomes super easy with a Gloom chroma setup. Okay, I know what you are thinking. I'm sick and tired of Gloom combos, squad leader. Well, we won't be talking about any Gloom combo if it wasn't this good in the first place. While it's not necessary for this Exodia Contagion chroma damage build, Gloom is great with the Dragon Warframe, and let me tell you why. First of all, with a max duration and power strength build, Gloom will still be effective as a tool to keep chroma alive. Believe it or not, the high armor coming from Vex armor, plus elemental ward when you choose the cold element are not enough to keep chroma alive against high level enemies, and it gets worse when he is facing level 1000 plus enemies. In the past, I was either using the high Udo for an immortal chroma, or just use any hybrid melee with the healing return mod. But Gloom does a better job in my opinion, since it doesn't work just with the damage you dealt with your weapons, but you can also replenish health while you damage enemies with your abilities. Every time chroma returns cold damage to enemies while his cold elemental ward is active, you will regain health back. But squad leader, how about an area of effect attacks? Well, attacks like Bombard's rockets will be returned to the enemies and won't explode into chroma. He will not take any damage but regain health unless he is within the blast radius, of course. But squad leader, Gloom can't be maintained while having huge energy consumption. Based on my experience, I have no energy problem at all even with Blind Rage in my chroma, since I have both narrow-minded and primed continuity in my build. So how do I regain energy, you asked? Energy orbs from enemies increase their conversion rate when Arcane Energize proc. This chroma build is all about kill speed also, so you can expect that enemies will drop energy orbs more often, especially in Steel Path missions. Anyway, Gloom has a very low range that the only time you will see it draining your energy is when you are building up your combo counter and getting close to enemies. Why not put Rage or Hunter Adrenaline instead, squad leader? You can always do that by replacing primed continuity with either mods. But in my case, I don't have any energy problem. That is why I decided to stick with primed continuity, not just to decrease Gloom's energy consumption, but also to increase the duration of both elemental ward and Vex armor. And of course, I added adaptation for more survivability and primed sure-footed to get rid of knockdown effects, especially when you are close to Exodia Contagion's projectile when it explodes. One last important details that I would like to share with you in case you miss it. Chroma's passive allows you to perform 3 jumps before landing into the ground. You can use this to perform 3 Exodia Contagion projectile throw, which does insane damage before hitting the ground. Enemies will die before you even touch the ground. That's how good this combo is. But this doesn't exempt chroma from being a flightless dragon. Just saying. Now you could do a combo like this with any ordinary melee weapon and just slap it with healing return. You won't be needing Gloom if you will do it that way. However, smacking enemies close is not fun for me now, and I was planning to reminisce Exodia Contagion chroma build. You can refer to this as an updated version of that build, and be honest, I am happy with the result. Although the Exodia Contagion chroma in the past was way better in terms of damage, as it can reach 2 billion damage easily, it makes chroma unusable in real missions because of the one-hit self-damage. Now, there is no self-damage and you can easily get rid of the self-stagger mechanic using primed sure-footed or options like the normal sure-footed mod plus the cautious shot mod from the primary weapons. Also, red crits are like casual numbers right now for Exodia Contagion, since we can build up combo counter fast, but this would be a problem if Digital Extremes decide to nerf the melee combo counter in the future. Not just this combo, but those builds who rely on combo counter would be doomed if they decided to make it harder to acquire combo, or even add a new feature wherein you will only gain a combo count when performing a specific faction. While I agree with some good changes, I'm hoping that they won't overdo the melee nerf. That's all for today, boys and gals, and I hope that you enjoy and find this video informative. Be sure to check back later, as I got another non-meta build for Excalibur, and no, it's not a Gloom combo. It will be fun, I promise, and some of you might not know about it yet. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching. Squad leader signing off.
Evolution. This is the future.